Guys, got Will Grier joining us. Answer questions y'all have for him. Just a reminder, please use the raise hand button if you have questions for him. Will, can you hear us on your end?
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. No one's raised their hand yet, so if someone wants to start us off with the first question, go for it.
Hey, Will, it's Joe Person. Good to see you.
Hey, Joe. Good to see you, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. Just talking to Matt, and he was saying that if you never play a snap in a game this year, that he feels like he's seen enough of you during practice and whatnot to be confident in what you can do and that you'll have a fantastic future. Do you feel that way too, or do you think, game reps at this point in your career would be important?
Well, I think here, hold on. Is that allowed? Okay. Well, I think game reps are, important. I don't want to discredit that, but I also think that, this is a very process-driven place. I've really taken in everything the Coach Rule has, preached to us every day. He's big on the process. So, I just take it one day at a time. I know I can play in this league. I know I can play really well in this league. And what I don't know and what I can't control is when that time comes. So, I'll be ready when my number's called, and that's all I can do.
All right, let's go to Phil Orban and then David Newton.
Well, I was thrown off a little bit when I couldn't see your beard, so I'm glad it was there in the mask.
There you go.
Can you just kind of walk me through your development in the past 12 months and kind of how much you've grown and how valuable just being in the building and at practice has been for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just from the first year to the second year, there's a lot that kind of slows down. You get an off season to kind of like reevaluate. I've taken, I did a lot of self scout, worked on specific things in the off season. And I kind of knew what to expect going into this year. Obviously had a new offense, so kind of had to restart there, but I knew, kind of what that took being in one last year. I think not having the preseason hurt me. Those are valuable reps when you're not the starter to get out there and get, some game experience. But I think, camp was really some good time to, at least go against our defenses and some like game-like situations. And, at the end of the day, I think that the process has really, and I've done a good job of just staying like the one day at a time, one rep at a time mentality. And I feel like I've made leaps and bounds over this year. And I feel like, if I stick to that I'm just going to keep getting better. So.
Hey, Will, hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you, I know you were really open with this during the preseason about how tough last year was for you going to a backup job. I wonder what this year has been like, kind of still being in that almost yo-yo like effect between you and PJ going back and forth, and just for your future, how important would it be Sunday to get out there and have a chance to prove yourself?
Yeah, well, I think, this year I went through last year and I was more prepared for, kind of how to prepare. I don't mean to say prepared 9 times, but that's like part of being a backup is preparing like you're going to play. And, doing that last year, coming to this year, I kind of knew what I had to do. And my process has gotten a lot better than it was last year. And I think that, obviously I want to get out there and prove myself. I mean, I think everybody does. But I think at the end of the day, like I'm a football guy. Like I love this game. I love the process. I love, just continuing to get better. And that's really all I can do until my number gets called. And that's, just controlling what I can control. At the end of the day, say it again.
No, go ahead, finish.
No, at the end of the day, I think that's the part of the process is, I learned from my mistakes last year, but really just kind of got better at, and because being a backup quarterback is preparing like you're going to play. At the end of the day, like it's tough and you don't get practice reps, but you got to make the most of it. And I've gotten a lot better at that. So.
Well, I'm just curious because, if the team continues the way things are now, you'll possibly have a top 10 pick. There's some good quarterbacks out there building for the future. Obviously you want that chance. So, How important is this, not just for this year though, for you, just for moving forward if you don't get that chance?
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally get that. I mean, this is a business, and that's, I look at that as something I can't control. Like, would I love to go play the rest of this year and show what I can do? Yes, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's not up to me. All I can do is continue to get better as a football player, and believe that my time to get an opportunity is coming, and that's all I can do.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, man.
Let's go to Elena Getzenberg and then Joe Person.
Hey, Will, I was curious. Matt just kind of said that he doesn't need to see you in a game to know what he has in you. What do you feel like you've been showing in practice? Like, are there things that you think specifically you've gotten better at, like in terms of on the field?
Yeah, I think that I have, certain just gifts that I was given, just raw ability. But I think I've really, like, the game in the NFL is so detail oriented, and I think I've gotten a lot better at, learning how to play this game the right way. Learning how to really become, see the whole picture. So I've come a long way in that area.
And then I was curious, last year you didn't really have to share the backup job quite in this way for most of the season. What is it kind of like mentally, like not knowing if you're going to be the backup until close to game time? What is that like for you? Like, I know it's for you to prepare the same way, but then you find out it's PJ. Like, what's that kind of like for you?
Yeah, no, it's a challenge, especially, at first you don't know what to expect. And, it all just kind of goes back to the process. Like, if you got to prepare that way, and if you're not up, you like, I'm not dressed, but I'm on the sideline, like going through plays like how I would run them if I was out there. And again, that's all I can do. That's out of my control. It's not something that I can worry about or I can do anything about. So.
Hey, Will, I think you know Christian pretty well. How has this year been for him where he gets back in Kansas City and then now immediately having to deal with another injury?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always loved and respected Christian a whole lot. I think he, this is, a challenge to him. He's not a guy that gets hurt like ever. He seems like he's just, he's a stud, man, and he's always going to do whatever he can to get on the field. So I think that's obviously been challenging, but, if anybody can, overcome a challenge and overcome adversity and perform at a high level, it's Christian.
Then I just wanted to follow up real quick on how this new coaching staff, Brady, Pete's in a new role for you. How has that done? What's that done for your development?
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely different. I think anytime you learn a new offense, you kind of grow your football knowledge, right? It's not the same, as what I was doing last year. We're doing more as far as mic points and picking up protection. So, I've definitely, just learned more football, and it's been great for my development. I think that we have a good group of coaches that's here to like challenge us and make us better. I've really enjoyed working with these guys and feel like I've continued to develop my football knowledge, and I'm excited to just go put it on display.
All right, guys, we have time for two more, so let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then finish with Deshaun Brown.
Hey, Will, hope you're doing well. Quick question. Have you ever dealt with an injury similar to what Christian has right now?
I'm not even, I mean, I don't know what exactly Christian has, so I don't want to compare injuries, but.
No worries. And also, you briefly just mentioned it, but what is sitting back and being able to watch really taught you about yourself in particular?
Yeah, I think it's, it was really tough on me last year. I think this year I kind of changed my perspective and have learned how to develop without necessarily taking the reps in the game. So trying to make it as real as possible, even though you're not getting those reps, and, growing in every area possible besides actually playing in the game. But it's made me a better person. Like it's not, this, I think a lot of guys do really well in college. They get to the NFL and they think it's just going to be more of the same stuff. And it's not. This is a challenging league. It's hard to win in this league. And, I've really just learned how important the process is to your development and just controlling what you can control, because there's a lot of uncontrollables.
Hey, Will, and thanks for taking the time. Working alongside Teddy and PJ this season, what do you feel like you've been able to draw from each other?
I've really enjoyed those guys. I think Teddy is incredibly knowledgeable about the game. He's very cool, calm, and collected, very smart, and just knows football really well. So I've really enjoyed being in the room with him and listening to him, kind of like just his take on different things. Him and Joe have a great chemistry, and just watching them kind of bounce ideas off each other. And I've learned a lot. I learned a lot last year with Cam and Kyle. So I've continued to kind of expand my football knowledge, working with different guys that have come from many different offenses, and just really enjoyed it.
All right, guys, we got to let him go. Will, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys. Good to see you all again.